All right, everyone. It's Thursday, which means it's Tech Talk Thursday, and today is Google Docs. Um, so, from Google, when you want to create a brand new Google Doc, and the Google Doc is a word processing tool. Before we get too far, just a reminder I do have the question and answers turned on. So, if you got a question while I'm going through here, go ahead and ask it, and I will try to get to those at the end of our time today. All right, so Google Docs. You access Google Docs through Google Drive. So from google.com, from the waffle button, going to open up Drive. And under the New button, when you click on New, down here at the bottom is where you would create a brand new Google Doc. When you click on it, another tab opens. And notice you always have your Drive tab open, so you never leave your Drive, and you just have your tabs at the top. Okay. First thing you always want to do is give your document a title. Every document you create, it's called Untitled Document, and the name is up here in the top left corner. When you click on it, the Rename Document window comes up, and we'll call this one Tech Talk Thursday Example. And click OK, and that changes it. Now, with Google Docs, just like everything else, any changes you make in Docs is automatically saved. There is no save button. You do not see a save button on the toolbar. Under File, you do not see the word save anywhere in that file. What you will see is you will see right here, it'll show all changes have been saved. So whenever I go to type something, if you will watch this line right here, as I'm typing, it says saving, and then when I stop, all changes have been are saved in Drive. And when you click on that, it'll open revision history, and I'll come back and talk about revision history here in a little bit. Okay, so Google Docs is the word processing tool. Couple things here at the top next to the name. If you remember back in the Google Drive episode of Tech Talk Thursday, I showed you how to star those files and folders so that you can kind of mark them as favorites. You can do that right from here in Google Docs. You can add a star to it, and it'll add to that star folder in Drive. You can also move this document into any of your Drive folders. So right now it's just in my Drive, just as a file. So if I wanted to organize it and I wanted to come down here to my Tech Talk Thursday folder, when I double click on it, the arrows to the left indicate that I have some subfolders in there. Okay, so this folder doesn't have a subfolder, so there's where I can move it. Another nifty little trick is that when you have just the document open like this and you click move, sometimes you want to have this folder in more than one folder, but you don't want to make a copy of it. So what you do is, I'm going to come down here. I want this in the Tech Talk Thursday. If I hold down the Control key on my keyboard, I'm also going to move it into let me scroll up here so we can see the Tech Talk Thursday folder. Here we go. I'm also going to move it into the Tech Sites file. I'm going to hold down my Control button, click on the Tech Site Files folder, and now the folder will be in two locations, in two different folders. And when I click move, then it's moved. And when I hover my mouse and I click on it, there are the two files, the two folders that this one file is in. All right, so let's just go through some of the parts of Google Docs. You've got the toolbar here. A lot of these tools should look pretty familiar. They look the same, or they look pretty similar to those buttons that you'll find in Microsoft Word or other word processing tools. So you have print. If you're on a regular computer like I am and you click print, you can print. You have print preview here on this side. Your default printer will be your destination. For those of you that are familiar with Macs, you can click the change button and you can either save it to Google Drive or save it to PDF. So you could print it to PDF and it saves to your desktop. Okay. You have undo, redo. The format painter. How the format painter works is if I have this text, I'm going to bold it and underline it and make it red. What the format painter button does is it takes the format of the text, or sorry, yeah, the format of the text, and basically it copies and pastes a format. Instead of copying and pasting the text itself, it copies and pastes the way the text looks. And when I come down here, let me do this instead. Let me change the font. Let's do something crazy here. There we go. Now I want that format. I don't want the text, but I want the format. So I select, click the format painter, which looks like the paint roller, and I want that same format on this text. And as soon as I select it and I'm done, notice how it changed that. Okay, let me do that one more time. I select my text, and when I click the format paint button, it copies the formatting. And when I come over here, select and let go, it automatically. So if there's words throughout the body of your document that you need to have bold and underlined, specific words, you just go through and you can do that with Format Painter. All right, next you got the zoom in. Set default's 100%. Normal text formatting, and then they have formatting for titles and subtitles and headings. Here's where your fonts are. Now you have you're limited on the built-in fonts. If you click on more fonts, you're taken to the font library where you have the different styles of fonts here. Like if maybe you're looking for handwriting, and you can sort alphabetically by how popular they are, then you just click on it and click OK, and then you have that font available to you, ready to go. Font size goes down to 96, but you can type in here if you need the font size to be 150. You can still type in there. Bold, italicize, underline. The text color, this button serves two different purposes. If you don't want your text, in this case, black, you select it. Here's the colors you get to choose from, or you can do a custom color. So let's go with blue. There's blue. The other thing you can also do in this button is you can use the highlighter tool. So I'm going to highlight in yellow, and there I have highlighted yellow with blue font color. Now notice here at the top on the button, the bar underneath the letter is blue and the letter itself is blue, and then also there's a yellow box around the letter. That indicates that there is you have highlighting on. And to take the highlighting off, just do it the opposite. You highlight it, come back in, choose highlight and choose none, and then once you select your text and then change it back to black. Oop, I had highlighting on. Text, black. I still have highlighting on. Let's try that again. Highlight, none. There we go. text black. There, got it finally. You can insert links to websites. Now, what I like about this, all right, so I'm going to type in, all right, I got to change my font here. All right, so I got Topeka Public Schools. I want to link that to our district website. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to choose the link, insert link button. And what happens is you get this box and Google starts searching by keywords and it brings back a couple of suggestions. So it's asking you, is this the link you want to insert, or is this the link? And if this is the page, you just click on it and click apply. And then when the person clicks on the link, they get a little box that pops up that then pops up the website that you wanted to go to. I can click change website, where I can copy and paste in another website if I want. And I can also, if I just click anywhere on the link, I can click to remove it. So what's really nice is if I insert a link, I don't have to use the suggestions. I can just copy and paste or type in my web address too. Insert comments. We'll come back to this. I'll get more in depth in the comment button here in a few minutes. Left align, center, right align, justified, line spacing. Here's where you do your line spacing. And depending on your resolution of your screen, you'll have a more button. This is where you do bulleted lists and numbered lists, indentions. And the last one's the clear formatting tool. So the clear formatting tool kind of works like this. All right, so I have this text right here, and I don't want that bold, italics, bold and underline and red format. So I want it just back to normal how it was. So instead of me selecting the text and then going in and shutting these off, I can select what I want to revert back to the original. Choose this button with the T and the X, the clear formatting, and it takes off all the formatting and it takes it back down to the original and back down to how you have your font set. Okay, so if you're copying and pasting things from documents or even from websites, some of that formatting comes across. You just select everything, go to the clear formatting tool, and it takes it down, clears all that formatting out in one click. Okay, so that's the toolbar. Let's go into the menu bar. So you have under File, we have where we can share this, and I'll talk about sharing here in a minute. Here's where you can create new documents, spreadsheets, forms. I can open up a document. I can rename this. So instead of clicking up here in the top left, I can rename it. Make a copy. Make a copy essentially works the same way as save as in Word. When you make a copy, that's what you're doing. You're making a copy of that document. I can move it, send it to the trash. Revision history. I can download this as a compatible Microsoft Word document. So if I need it as a Word document, I can download it as a Word document. I can also download it as a PDF document if I need it in the PDF. Under page setup, this is where you can change the orientation from landscape to portrait. You can change the page color, so it changes the page background color. And this is where you change the margins too. So when I click OK, there I changed it to orange. I go back into File, Page Setup, and I can just click Set, or not. I'm not going to click Set as default. Come back in here and choose white as my background color. And then there's Print. Under Edit, it's pretty basic. Edit, cut, copy, paste. The one piece that I do want to show you is the web clipboard in here. So notice how when I choose web clipboard, I've already got a list of things in here. So I've saved this from other documents. So here's how Web Clipboard works. I'm going to select this text because I want to use it in another document. I come up to Edit, go to Web Clipboard, and I copy that selected text to the Web Clipboard. Okay. When I go back into Edit and Web Clipboard, it's there at the top. And down below you see the example or the preview, and then I can paste it in as text. So these I've had in here for a few weeks now. So I'm going to, let's do this one. I'm going to paste it in. There we go. That was on a document, and I've had that on in my Web Clipboard for a few weeks now. Things stay in the Web Clipboard for 30 days. Okay, so when 30 day, I used to have about 10 or 12 things in my clipboard, but you can see they've kind of dropped off since then. So if you're copying the same thing into multiple documents, instead of using Control C for copy, just put it in the Web Clipboard, and then you have it for up to a month. And you can put it in any document. Under View, you have Print Layout. You have the ruler that's always turned on. For the math people, you can turn on an equation toolbar, and when you click on New Equation, it comes up here. And let me change the font. It's a little big. And let me do this. Let me change the font here. I'll make it kind of big. New Equation, and then you have all these different math symbols and everything else. Okay, so there's some of your operators. Here's some bracket, greater than, equals to. Here's where your fractions and your square root. So if you want to do a fraction, you click on the fraction, you put in the top number, and then you click hit tab, put in the bottom number, click out of it, you're done. Okay, and then you can add in, we'll do divide, and then you put in the next part. So you can build equations, and students have access to that too on the equation toolbar. And show spelling suggestions is always turned on. Show spelling suggestions, why is that set? It does like when you misspell something, if you have spelling suggestions turned on, it will check it as you type. You can just right click on it and choose the word that you want or it thinks you want. All right, so I got kind of a question here from Terry about the Web Clipboard. Yes. Oh, it equals history in the old on Microsoft Word. Okay. Yeah, it's like cut, copy, paste, but you can do it over multiple days and multiple documents. Microsoft didn't ever have any kind of tool like that. All right, so that was under View and Show Equation Toolbar, and that's turned off normally, so you have to turn that back on if you want to use it. And students have access to that toolbar also. Okay, now let's talk about insert. These are all the different things you can insert into a document. I'm going to spend some time on insert image. Insert image, there's 6 ways to get your image into your document. Upload from your computer, so if you got it on your computer on a flash drive or wherever, you click the blue button and you go find it and upload it, or you can drag it in from another folder. You can take a snapshot using your webcam, put it in there. By URL. Here's how by URL works. All right, so if I go to Google and I go into the Google Images where I can just search for pictures. I'm going to search for baseball. I get all these baseball pictures, and I want to use this picture right here in my document. When I click on it, and I can click on the View Image button. When I right click, I can copy the image URL, which is the unique address or the unique location for that picture. It's the same as going to the top in the address bar, selecting, right click, and copying. It does the exact same thing. Once you have that unique web address copied, you go back to your document and you choose Insert by URL, and you paste, right click and paste, or Control V, the web address. It gives you a preview, and then you can click Select. Wherever your cursor was, that's where your picture is going to drop. When you click on it, you get some resizing boxes, and you can pull it in and resize it. You can wrap text around the box. Okay, you can also break the text so it doesn't do that, or just do it in line wherever the cursor is. Now, when you have this selected, the toolbar changes just a little bit. You can add a link to this picture. Okay. You can also do some cropping, so you can click the crop image button right there on the toolbar. And let's say I want to crop the bat part out. So I'm just going to come in here, crop that part out, click out, and there's my picture back. When I click on the picture, I can reset the image so it gives me my image back to how it was before when I put it in there. And then I have some image options. I can recolor it. So maybe I want it to be, let's say, blue. There, it changes it to a shade of blue, or red, or no color, takes it back to the original. I can make it somewhat transparent. Okay. You can do different brightnesses or dark, and then same with contrast. So you can kind of play around with some of the options, and then readjust, get you back to the original. All right, so that was image. Let me get some space here. So that was insert image by URL. The next way is by photo albums. So if you have albums in your Google Plus, you can find those and put those in there. If you have pictures in Google Drive, you go to the folder where those pictures are, and then you can find those. And then the last one is search, and I love search. All right, so let's talk about copyright right now. When I did the insert by URL option here, I just went out to this website, it was history.com, and I just took their picture without even asking. Okay, it's a copyrighted picture, and so I could get in trouble if I use that in my document, especially if I put it out there online. What search does is it gives you 3 databases to search through. You have Google's database of images, you have the Life magazine database of images, and you have a database of stock photos. But here's where you need to read the fine print. So for Google, the results shown are labeled for commercial reuse with modification, which means that the results that come back, these are okay to use and to crop and to put out in documents and on your website and those sorts of things. Okay, so you use this as a search box. We'll do baseball. It's search. So all of these, and you'll notice that that picture I used before, this picture is not one of these pictures that are listed here. So all of these I'm okay with. Whoever created these pictures said it's okay, you can use that picture. When I select a picture, the other thing you need to do when you insert the picture into your document is put the source of the document. And so when you use the search option, when you select a picture, the source, there's the URL for it. So what I'm going to do before I insert that picture, I'm going to come down to the source, and I'm going to copy the link address, and then I'm going to click select. My image gets put in here. I can resize it, and then right underneath, I'm going to paste where I got that picture from, my source. And copyright states that it just needs to be on the same page as the picture. It doesn't say anything about that it's got to be 12-point Arial font. It just has to be on the same page. So you can make it whatever size font you want, kind of like doing a caption sort of thing. And there you go. I used an image that's already labeled for reuse, and to even cover myself better, I put the link to the source right there underneath my picture, so people know that is where. If you want to go one step further, you click on the picture, choose link, and then just paste that source. Let's try this again. Insert link, paste the source right in there, and then whoever clicks on the picture, there's the source. This is the source that of the picture. So that, if you wanted to cover you 3 different ways, you can do that. In insert an image, in that search, you can do some filtering. So you can filter by type if you're using the Google search. So in type, maybe you want to search for faces. So it'll come back with pictures that have about baseball, about whatever your keyword is, that has faces. Okay. Well, let's say maybe you want to you're looking at cells. Well, let's be a little bit more specific. Plant cells. Okay. Well, here's faces. So these people probably have something to do with cells or science. I'm going to choose any type here. So here's my plant cells. I can look at just clip art. So here's clip art of cells or line drawings. Okay. So let's go back up here to any type. See these colors right here? So the results, when the full color, I get back pictures that have all kinds of colors in them. But maybe I want to see just the pictures that have mostly red in those colors. So when I click on red, here are the pictures that it found when it searched plant cells that come back as red. Okay, let me take the word plant out of it. And it will still just search the word cells, but only bring back those red cells. So if you're looking for red cells, you can do that. Or you can do black and white. Or you can do purple. You can do any colors here that you want. Okay. In the Life magazine database, these are images from Life magazine. Some of the pictures have been in the magazine, some of them haven't. Most of them are black and white, but there are some really cool old pictures in here. Great for social studies and history people. And then stock images. Stock images are images that lots of times advertisers and groups like that will buy pictures to use in their documents and flyers and advertisements and things. And these are just generic photos. And again, these, you can use them for personal or commercial use, but you'll find really generic photos. And like in this case, all you have are cell phones. Okay, so that's how you insert all the images. The rest of the things under insert, here's links, equations again, in drawing, which will be another episode, Tech Talk episode, drawing. Drawing is a Google tool that basically allows you to create images. And so I'm not going to get into a whole bunch in this, but you can create your own image just right here using Google Drawing and have it insert right into your document. Inserting tables. So you have tables, you choose how many columns and how many rows, and there's your table. And we'll come back and talk about table formatting and and a lot of that stuff too. You can insert footnotes. Special characters is kind of cool. So on special characters, let's say I need a copyright sign. Okay. So, and the C inside the circle. So instead of me trying to figure out which one of these categories is that copyright going to be in, I can come over here and I can type the word copyright, or I can just use my mouse and click and draw. And that looks more like a happy face than a copyright symbol. But if you look right here, there's the copyright symbol. And it brings back all the symbols in the library that it thinks that you're looking for. So how about letters with accent marks on them? So the E's or the A's with the... Okay, so if you're needing those letters with accent marks, just draw them. And you can't do any worse than me drawing those things. So it does a pretty good job of picking up and trying to figure out what you're looking for. And that's special characters. You can insert page numbers, and you have some different options on where to insert those page numbers. You can insert page breaks, headers and footers, bookmarks, and table of contents. The bookmarks, the way the bookmark works, let me pull up a document that I have bookmarks. So I have this document, which is several pages long, and the very first page I have, it's set up with links and bookmarks. So see this, this blue ribbon here, that's a bookmark. So if I, on this document, these are frequently asked questions we get from our staff. And if I want to go down to, let's say, look, there's a Google Docs section. So if I want to go to the Google Docs page, I click on it, click the link, and it takes me to that part of the document, or it takes me to where that bookmark, that blue ribbon is. And then I've set it so if you click the link to go back to the top, it takes you back to the top. So that's how the bookmarks work. And when you go to insert bookmark, it just inserts the bookmark there, and then you click link. Oh, I can't. And then what you do is you select something that you want to set as your link. And you can use either headings that you have, the pre-built headings, or you can use the bookmarks itself. Okay, so those are all the bookmarks I have in there. So that's how the bookmark tool works. All right, so under format, you got bold, italicized, strike through. Math people, if you need to make exponents, have your main number and your exponent. Select your exponent, go into format and choose superscript, and there you have your exponent. Chemistry teachers, select the number and choose subscript, and there you have your chemical formulas and those sorts of things. So that's under format, superscript and subscript. Paragraph styles, again, line spacing, alignments. Here's clear formatting again. And if you have those pictures, when you select the picture under format, crop image, image options, all that stuff there too. Under tools, you have the spelling tool, which will force spell check. You have the define, which will bring up a dictionary. So let me define school. So I'm going to select the word school, go into tools and click define. On the right-hand side, it pulls up the definition, school, and you can look through there. Okay, so there's how you can look up the definition under the tools. If you need to do a quick translate of a document, you can translate the document. What I've been told is it translates it per word and not does a full translation. So it's not something you want to translate and send home. But if you want to, you have several different languages to choose from. So, if you're just trying to translate maybe a couple of words and you want to know what they look like, what they're supposed to be in Croatian, you can translate just the words. The main tool in the tools menu is the research tool. Okay, let me come down here to a brand new. Where am I at here? All right, I'm going to insert a page break and have a whole blank brand new page right here. I don't need 72 font. How about 18 will work? All right, tools and research tool. The research tool works like this. Basically, you have 6 different search engines that you can use right here in this little window to do all of your research, and you don't have to ever leave your document to do it. Okay, so essentially kids won't have to ever use index cards anymore for research. I know, which is sad, I know, but so here's how this works. So I'm going to choose everything, and let's do cells. And when I search for cells and hit enter, it's like doing a Google search, but instead of going to google.com and having to work in 2 separate pages, I'm not leaving my document. So I have some pictures here. I can come down here to right here. What is a cell? I want to use this in my paper. I can click the preview button and it will preview what the website looks like. I can click on it. It opens in a new tab. I can come over here and I can say, oh, this is kind of nice. So I want to use some of this information. So I take that information and, you shouldn't copy and paste because of time. I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to clear the formatting because there we go. And so what are you supposed to do in research? You're supposed to cite your information. So this is the website I got that from. I can insert a link to that website when I click on insert link. That inserts a link. But if I took this information from the website, I need to cite it. And when I come over here, there's a cite button. When I click on it, notice how it puts the number 1 right there. And if I go down to my footnotes, there's a citation already created for me in my footnotes. Okay. Another way to use this type of tool, the everything tool, is to build a list of research pages or a list of sites that you want your students to do their research from, instead of letting them just go loose on Google. So let's say I want to use this biology for kids. I want them to use the information from this page. I just click insert link, hit enter. This website has great information. That's a good site for them. And this site. So you can build that list of library, or that, build a list of sites for your students. The next database is you have the image database. So we're searching cells. If I want to insert this cell right here or this picture, when I hover my mouse over it, I just click and hold and drag and drop. And notice how it automatically puts a 2 right there. And when we scroll down, there's our citation with our source labeled number 2. Scholar gives you access to research reports. When you click on where it says PDF, It will open the actual PDF or take you to the site where you can get access to that document. And if you wanted to, you can insert this part of the document by clicking Insert. And again, cite as a footnote right there by whatever information you used from that document. And then you have a quote database. And when you insert the quote, it automatically cites it for you. And then you have the dictionary. Now, in the dictionary, there's no inserting, but what you can do is you can select this and then come down here and just drag and drop. But there's nothing that cites that for you. And then the last one is the table. The table has data. A lot of it, like you can see, this is data from Wikipedia. You can preview it, you can cite it, you can export it. And what happens is you export it into Google Sheets, and then you can create charts and use the data, sort the data that way in Sheets, and then put those charts in Docs. Okay, so that's the research tool. Really, really cool stuff with the research tool. Real quick on tables. So we inserted a table here. Here I can insert row, delete row, column. Table properties. Here's where I can change the border color. If I don't want a border, you just make it the same color as your background. You can change the background color, all that good stuff. Add-ons. Add-ons will be a whole separate Tech Talk Thursday. Couple of add-ons that you may want to play around with. GMath lets you create. I think it's an easier way to create equations. The bibliography, EasyBib, lets you build a bibliography page as you go. And we'll do a whole other session on add-ons later on, and then help. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is the sharing and collaboration piece. So up here in the top right corner, there's a share button. When I click on this, I get some information here. So right now, the way this document is set up, it's set up actually where anyone on the internet can find and view this document. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to people, and I'm going to share this with a couple of people who are helping me out. So I'm going to share this with Gail. I just type in her email address, and Terry. And I have a couple of options as far as permissions. Always by default, the can edit option is turned on. That's something that's always turned on by default. So they can edit, they get full editing rights. The thing to remember with you give them editing rights is they can share the document with anybody. They can also go in and change the permissions of people. Okay, so just kind of be careful of that, especially with students. I can give them where they can only make comments, use just the commenting tool, which I'll show you. And then, or if I just want it to be view only, they can only view it. All right, so I'm going to click Can Edit, and I'm going to send it to them. And what I'm going to do here is, let's do on, what page is this? Page 2 looks blank. On page 2, just type in some stuff, Gail. Okay. So we're waiting on Gail and Terry to pop in here, and we'll see them pop in. Their pictures will pop in here next to the comment button. Oh, there's Gail popping in there, and hopefully Terry pops in here in a little bit. Now, oh, there's Terry. So go ahead, ladies, and just type in some stuff. So what you can see then is in real time, the three of us are collaborating on one document here in real time. And on my document, Gail has the pink color associated with her, and so her cursor will be pink and it'll have her name. Terry's cursor is green. Oh, there's Terry's typing up there in the table. You want to do that, Gail? Type up in the table, in the cell, whatever cell. And so you can see, I see Terry working and Gail working. Now, if I go back into share, I can add more people here if I want. If I go into advanced, I can change their permissions. I can actually change ownership of the document if I want to. There can only be one owner of a document, but I can come in here and change the ownership. And when I change the ownership, then me, who is the previous owner, is already set to can edit. But that doesn't happen until you click the save button. I can also remove people from the list just by clicking this X. That removes them from the list. Another way, as far as permissions go, is what kind of access do you want to give people to your document. Like this one is public on the web. Anyone can do a Google search for TTT/example, and they should be able to find it in Google. When I click the change button, here are your options for letting people access your document. The most private is off, or specific people. That means whoever you have in your list here, that's who gets access to the document. And if you don't have anybody in that list, then it's private to you. Then as we move up, it opens up just a little bit more. So you have anyone at your domain that has a link. And the link I'm talking about is this link right here that says link to share. So anyone right now, anyone with the Topeka Public Schools domain, if they have that link right there, if I email it to them, then they can view that document. If you want them to be able to edit it, you can change that down here. Then we go up. So anyone in Topeka Public Schools, anyone with a link, they don't necessarily have to even have a Google account, but anyone with a link can click the link and they can either view or edit the document. So if you're sharing documents outside of your school, you need to use one of these two options and probably keep this at view, so that that'll guarantee that anybody can look at that document even if they don't have a Google account. If you're sharing it with someone outside and you want to collaborate on the document together, you can change this to where they can edit it and then share that link with them. Then it'll be open and they can edit on it. When we go to conferences, that's what we do quite a bit. So people can take notes right there and have one document with notes that everyone can share. Okay, so there's the sharing. I click done. They've added they've added some stuff to it, I see here. All right. And comments. Yes, so you see the comments out here on the right. Here's how the comments work. I'm going to select the address for the Burnett Center, our administration building. And I'm going to come up here to where it says comments. And I can see these two comments that are made. And I'm going to click on the word comment here. And see how this box pops up here? I'm going to move my mouse so you can see, but I'm going to add, this is the address to our admin building. And I'm going to click this comment. Okay. Everyone on the document sees the comments. If you go up to the comment button at the top, you see every comment. Everybody can see every comment that's made. These comments do not go away. You cannot delete this list of comments. Okay. If you're making comments on a document that maybe something needs to be fixed, I can come in here and I can click, I can make a comment if I click. And then I can resolve the comment, which means that I'm done, that piece has been fixed. And if I go back and look at my document and realize, yeah, you know what, that piece hasn't been fixed, I can always reopen that comment and get that comment back, and you can see all the dialogue and the threading that we have going on here. So commenting tool is great for if you're doing peer editing with students, or if you're working. We did some curriculum writing and gave people only commenting rights, so they wouldn't change any of the standards or anything. And then we just had tons of comments and would go in and fix words and those sorts of things with the comments. Okay. Along with comments is when you see this pencil here underneath the share button, this is you're in editing mode. Another mode you can get into is the suggested editing. So when I click on that, I can come over here and I can say, all right, instead of the Burnett Center, it needs to be changed to Information Technology. Okay. Now, when someone works in suggested edits, like Gail has here, then you get these check mark and X's. So she put, instead of having trainer person, she wants to replace that with the word superior, which I totally agree. So I can click on that and it gets added. Okay. And someone has X'd out of my changing the Burnett Center, and so you saw that went away. So to get out of this, you just click and go back into editing. The last part I want to show you is under File, and it's the revision history. So there's been a lot of work on this document. Revision history shows that work. I created this document at 4:39 today. When I click on it, I can take it back down. And down here at the bottom where it says show more detailed, this will show you pretty much all the versions. So actually at 4 o'clock, there's the original, nice blank white document. And at 4:06, it looked like that. And at 4:38, it looked like this. And so then you can see when I started sharing this, and when I click on one of the versions, I can see in red or in pink, that's what Gail put in there. Okay. And so this is a great tool to use. I can restore the original back to this. It's like you can go back in time and you can restore the document back to that version of the document. We had to do this last summer in our curriculum writing. I had someone come to me and they wiped out about 6 or 8 pages of standards. So we went back until we found the point where those things were deleted and reverted back to that, and maybe lost 5 or 10 minutes of work instead of 2 or 3 days of work, which is really nice. So that's revision history, and this history stays with the document forever. You cannot clear this list or modify it in any way. It's also a great tool if you suspect kids are maybe cheating and one kid is doing work on another kid's document. You'll be able to see it right there if everybody is working on the document. Did I forget anything? All right. Well, that went a little bit longer than I hoped, but that is Docs. You got in a lot of information. Next week on Thursday, I'm going to go through Google Sheets, Google Slides, which is the presentation tool, and Google Drawing, which I kind of showed you drawing a little bit, and we'll talk about some of those things. So that'll be next week, next Thursday at 4 o'clock. So if you got any questions, you can shoot those to me through email or through the Tech Talk Thursday community. Make sure you join if you haven't joined yet, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.